welcome back to You're Doing Great. Kinda. The podcast that offers realistic motivation, gentle pep talks, and emotional support for people who are doing their best even when it doesn't look like much. I'm Sean, not a therapist, though I've always wanted to be one. Just someone who's failed a bunch, learned some stuff, and knows what it's like to need encouragement that doesn't feel fake or fluffy. If you're struggling right now, please know there's no shame in needing help. Therapy is a powerful tool, not a last resort. And if you're in crisis or feeling unsafe, please call or text 988 in the U.S. to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. There's always someone to talk to. You're not alone. Let's talk. You know what I've been thinking about a lot lately? How bad we are at letting ourselves be beginners. Like, we expect ourselves to be good at things we've never done before. We want to skip the awkward learning curve. We want to be confident before we even try. But here's the thing. Being new at something doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're learning. It means you're growing. It means you're brave as hell. Because starting something new, that's not easy. Somewhere along the way, we started associating beginner with bad. Like if you're not polished, smooth, and confident, you shouldn't even try. We compare our first steps to someone else's marathon, and then we get discouraged and don't even begin. But you know what's worse than being bad at something? Never giving yourself the chance to try. We want to be experts, but we forget that every expert was once just trying not to trip over their own shoelaces. And I don't just mean skills or hobbies. I mean healing. I mean setting boundaries, asking for help. I mean getting back into dating, learning to rest, trusting people again, forgiving yourself, figuring out your identity. All of those things have a beginner phase, and you're allowed to be in it. Let me tell you about my first time going back to the gym after a long break. I walked in with a water bottle I didn't even like, headphones that bothered my ears, and zero confidence in what I was doing. I looked around and thought, okay, well, I'm clearly the weak link here. Everybody knows what they're doing. But then I realized no one was watching me. No one cared because they were all too busy focusing on their own form, their own progress, their own self-consciousness. And even if someone was watching, that doesn't erase the value of showing up. That was day one, not day 100. And day one gets to be awkward. You're allowed to not know. You're allowed to look weird. You're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to ask for help. You're allowed to suck at something new because you're doing it. And that matters way more than how it looks. All right, your turn. Let's pause for a second. Take a breath, unclench your jaw, let your shoulders drop. Now think of something you've avoided trying because you were afraid of being bad at it. Could be something small, like starting therapy, going to a new support group, posting your art, telling someone how you feel, going for a walk. Now ask yourself, what would it look like to give yourself permission to be a beginner at that thing? Not to crush it, not to master it, just to start it. Take one tiny step and remind yourself, I don't have to be good, I just have to begin. Say it out loud. I don't have to be good, I just have to begin. Let's go one layer deeper. If you're like me, you've probably started something in the past and quit because it didn't come easy. Maybe someone laughed, maybe you got overwhelmed, maybe you compared yourself to someone else and decided you weren't ready. So let's rewrite that voice. Instead of, I'm bad at this, try, I'm new at this. Instead of, this is embarrassing, try, this is part of the process. Instead of, I should be further along, try, I'm allowed to take my time. Because shame wants you to stop, but growth wants you to begin. Let me get real for a second. When I first started sharing Disneyland content, I almost didn't do it. I told myself, it's too saturated, everyone's already doing it, people are going to roll their eyes and scroll right past. I had all the beginner doubts. Who's going to care what I have to say? Why would anyone follow me when there are already creators with massive followings? What could I add to the conversation that hasn't already been said? But I did it anyway. Messy, awkward, inconsistent at first. I just started. And now, a couple of years in, people recognize me in the parks. They stop me to say they love what I'm doing. They tag me in their stories. They tell me my content makes them feel seen and understood. None of that would have happened if I waited until I was ready. I hope that helps. Here's your try not to spiral moment. You are allowed to be new. You're allowed to be awkward. You are allowed to begin without knowing what comes next. And if anyone makes you feel small for trying, that says more about them than it does about you. Try not to spiral. That's your pep talk. Take what you need, leave the rest. And if today's the day you start something you've been putting off, start it badly and then celebrate the hell out of that courage. If this helped you, send it to someone else who's stuck in the beginner fear. We all need that reminder sometimes. I'm Sean, and this is You're Doing Great. Kinda. See you next time.